The UCI World Tour continues, and after the cobblestones of Flanders, we move east to the Netherlands as the cycling world begins to turn its attention to the Ardennes. With Liège and Flèche Wallonne just days away, the youngest of the spring classics is contested, the Amstel Gold Race. This event blends an attractive hybrid of racing styles, one to suit those who can do a little bit of everything. Not flat enough for the pure sprinters, not as steep as the pure climbers might wish. This is the 48th Amstel Gold Race. Peter Sagan was the favourite. Francesco, the uncle of Moreno Moser, was present as well. And of course, Philippe Gilbert, twice a winner of this race on the same course on which he won that very rainbow jersey as the world champion. Sky had options from Colombia. Andy Schleck was riding as well. Remained to be seen what he could come up with. So spring also finally here. Temperatures touching on 20 degrees for the 25 teams to take on one of the most anticipated challenges on the Cycling Classics calendar. It's a long, complicated, nervous and all-round difficult route that started in the city of Maastricht and heads out to the same Limburg region where the World Championships were held here last September. Right from the off, there are classified climbs to take on, 34 of them in total, including 4 passages of the famous Kohlberg, at which the top used to be the race finish. This year, though, a huge change. The finish line just under 2 kilometres further down the road, and that meant that there will be excitement right from the off. It would open up plenty of possibilities for many a different rider, 251 kilometres in total, with the finish almost identical to the 2012 Worlds. So plenty of early attempts to get out in the breakaway, and plenty of big riders wanting to do just that. So it did settle down. 7 of those riders are away. I can tell you that they are Astad-Loza, Van Overberg, Van Summeren, Plushin, Cess, Vogondi and De Trooijer. 2 from the same team. They come from the Accent Jobs 1T team. I Am Cycling also involved. As you can see, Garmin Sharp, Euskaltel Euskadi, who finally had a couple of good days after a shocking spring so far, and the Top Sport Vlaanderen Baloise team that you can always bet on to instigate breakaways and attacks in this part of the world. I can tell you that they did have a gap of up to 11 minutes. It hasn't changed too much as we get out onto the course. Well, I'm Rob Hatch. Sitting alongside me is Brian Smith here in the commentary box. Good afternoon, Brian. What sort of thing are we looking forward to today?
Well, it's going to be a very difficult race today. 251.8 kilometres and 34 climbs they have to go up today. And yeah, we're expecting a very difficult race. The main favourite today is Peter Sagan. He knew this was going to be a very difficult race for the Cannondale team. They have to ride on the front. It's notorious in this race that a breakaway does go away. We do have 7 riders in the breakaway. So for Cannondale and the lime green in the middle, the job was always going to be very difficult today.
Canada at the front then, trying to set up and work for Peter Sagan, who's had such a great start to the season. Sagan, 3rd last year here, hasn't finished outside any of the top 2 in any of the one-day races he's competed in this season. Right through from the GP Camaiore that he won, he was 2nd as well in Strade Bianche, since won in Gent-Wevelgem, of course on Wednesday at Brabantse Pijl, 2nd in Flanders as well. He has had a magnificent start of the year. He's expected to go on and ride Flèche Wallonne as well if he feels that his legs are good here, but he reckons that Liège-Bastogne-Liège is too difficult for him. So his programme this year doesn't include the Giro d'Italia, expecting to take a rest after Wednesday afternoon. And we'll see the Slovakian champion next in California, Tour de Suisse, the Tour de France and the US Pro Cycling Challenge. So a change of finish this season. Could the race change? Could well play to the strength of riders such as Sagan. More or less the same finish as we saw last year's World Championships. Now a flat section of 1.7 kilometres to 1.8 kilometres after the Kohlberg, just beyond the town of Valkenburg, which is the traditional heartland of this race. That means 1 extra lap after the 3rd time over the Kohlberg as well. So a lot of the hard climbs coming 20 kilometres earlier in this race this year. And it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out, with a lot of riders only having taken on this course in national team jerseys. And we've already had a bit of a smash further down the peloton. Oh dear, It's cross-country stuff at the minute.
Normally see this in the winter in cyclocross. Yeah, it looks as if a lot of pushing and shoving. This looks to me as it's happened a bit nearer the front. 10 Dames down there, one of the I Am. You've got Gilbert, the world champion, one of the favourites down. I think a bit tangled up, but it looks as if 10 Dam. This to me has happened near the front with so much difficulty and pushing and shoving.
And this is what happened then. Look at the front of the bunch.
Yeah, right
Narrow
near the
roads,
front. Yeah.
About 30 bike lengths back, not even that, you're right. And that sent people all over the farmland. Not good at all. Plenty of riders, that's at least 10, 11, 12 riders off their bike set.
Just see it, the experience in Gilbert. He's not hurt himself. It's just he's tangled up his bike. He's looking for his spare bike. No real panic. Everybody will know there's been this crash in the peloton. They won't push on. He's just nice and easy. He knows if he panics, he's going to waste a bit of energy trying to get back. But the most person that was damaged there was 10 Dam. But it looks as if everybody will get back safely. So yeah, everybody can breathe a wee bit in the team cars.
So here they come. Look at all these crowds. 7% average, a maximum of 13%. 900 metres long officially. Some of the books it comes in at 1.2, depends where you choose to begin and end the climb in your measurement. But look at this. This used to be the finish, remember, right at the top of the hill here. Last year Gasparotto was the winner. Sagan third. This year the breakaway with such a good advantage. Of course, they do have race radios here. They will know exactly what's happened behind. And they're being led up the front by the Top Sport Vlaanderen man, Arthur van Overberg. This is a veritable natural stadium of cycling. And as they come over at the final time in an hour or two's time, I can assure you the noise will be pretty deafening. There's Vogondi. In fact, the last Frenchman to win this race was Bernard Hinault in 1981. And an interesting little fact for Philippe Gilbert, he was also the last man to win this race with the rainbow jersey on his back.
Yeah, there's only been 2 French winners in the past. You know, the prolific winner of this race, a local hero in this area, is Jan Raas, who's won this race 5 times. And there's a bit of a gap to 2-time winners, and they include Knetemann, Merckx, Jarman and Gilbert. So if Gilbert in fact wins this race today, he goes into the history books at this moment in time as the second most prolific winner. So Jan Raas winning this, but it was so different in the years. It didn't finish in the Kohlberg. Jan Raas was a good all-round rider, but when I rode it way back in the early 90s, it did finish in Maastricht, and it was on a flatter finish, although you had to go up all these climbs, but it did produce some more sprinter type riders.
This is a view in and around Maastricht, of course, the area where this World Championship took place last year, and of course now the Amstel Gold Race, and of course we're in the Netherlands, so why not have a look at a windmill? It'd be wrong to have a cycling transmission without a real windmill, I should say, in the Netherlands. The crowd's not just confined to the climbs, people stopping the cars and peering over bridges. It's a big, big event in this part of the world. 1966 this race began. Takes place in Limburg. This is the Netherlands province that splits down and spikes down out southeast of the country. If you know the area of Wallonia or northwest Germany, it's squashed between those two areas. Belgium to the west, Germany to the east. 63 Ks left. Here are the 7 breakaway riders. Aster Loze van Summeren, De Trooijer, Vogondi. 2 of those accent jobs riders. Cess Plushin of I Am Cycling, and Van Overberge, the 248, is of the aforementioned Top Sport Vlaanderen Baloise team. Team Movistar moving plenty of bodies to the fore now. They've had plenty of work being done on the front for the last 10, 15 kilometres, sharing it out with Katusha. They've got 4 or 5 riders now in the first 10, 15. Perhaps thinking of getting involved as soon as this looks like it's going back together again. Now here's Philippe Gilbert towards the back of the peloton here. How much should we read into this? Looking for his team car maybe, but again getting towards the stage of the race where he does not want to be too far from the front, surely.
No, not at all. Not at all. You can just see at the front of the bunch so many of the favourites coming up towards the front. A lot of movement as we see some of the riders just to left, to right, and using bike paths and using what they think is the quickest way. Not always the best way, but they think is the quickest way. We've seen this happen in the past where we see some of the spectators bring some of the riders down. And
Roubaix the other week.
Yeah, you just
classic example.
You just don't want to risk anything. So Gilbert obviously having a wee bit of trouble, maybe with his bike. I don't think it's anything to do with his form, but he's using the fact that we're on some wide road at the moment, that now or never. So he's got an opportunity to go back, talk to John Lang, who's the sports director, and tell him how he's feeling and how they're going to play out the final 50 kilometres.
And this breakaway is in danger of fracturing even more now. Only the World Tour boys able to stay up the front. Van Summeren and Astad-Loza putting time into those who are dropping behind. And they have to keep going. As you say, Brian, if even one or two men comes off the back, then the gap can come down ridiculously quickly. And we're already down to just over 3 minutes now.
Yeah, Cannondale can just sense a bit of nerves front of the peloton. There's riders coming back from the breakaway now. One of the Accent Jobs riders is, I think it's Destroyer now, coming from the front to the back very, very quickly.
It's going to slide straight out the back, surely, with that pace. Dear, oh dear.
This is one of the hills that really, really bites. It just goes up to that inflatable, turns right, and it doesn't go downhill straight away. It kind of falls flat, and that's the bit that really, really hurts your legs.
Gulpenerberg, 10% average, and as Brian just said, maximum 15%. Only 600 metres long, but already Plushin struggling. Everybody out the saddle, really. Astad-Loza should be the best climber in here. Of course, he has Basque blood. Van Summeren now, pedalling away. Well, the peloton aren't following. Look how far it's strung out now. We're going to see all of that jockeying for position here. Everybody who is anybody needs to be close to the front now.
And this is what we're talking about. You get caught behind a crash like this, anything could happen. A lot of pushing and shoving to get up towards the front, and this is the sort of thing that happens. And it's just as you turn right, and if you're halfway down the bunch, the riders are already going over the top of this climb, and some other riders are still on the climb, so that's why it's very important to stay in the front of this race.
Local boy Rob Reich from Valkenburg is the man struggling to get back on his bike. No wonder he had his hands on his head. He's not one of these men who was a crosser, but he might as well have been looking at that picture. Omega Farmer, or I should say Orica Green Edge man's gone down. For Katusha, it's Joaquim Rodriguez. Yeah. Well, any idea that he might have had has just perhaps gone out the window, and he looks hurt as well, does Joaquim Rodriguez. Not good for the Catalan rider. In the meantime, it is Cannondale and Astana pulling them out very, very much at the front. And just one man remains up the front. It is Mikel Astad-Loza. Van Summeren done for on that last climb, as was Alexander Plushin. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And Astad-Loza, survival of the fittest, out of the 7, you can see has around 200 or 300 metres upon the other guys who are in that breakaway.
Just see some riders being put out the back, but this is not a magic spanner or a magic Allen key. This is a push to get back, and okay, the cameras are on them, but if the commissaires see this is against all sort of rules. But then again, they might turn a blind eye because of the crash. But for me, a blatant push like that is not right. No matter what, if you crash or not, you don't get a blatant push like that. this next climb is very, very difficult, and it doesn't really go downhill straight afterwards. Falls flat over the top, a very, very difficult climb.
Well, it is just under a kilometre long. The hardest bit is around a third of the way through the climb. That's when it ramps up to this 22%.
Well, this is the hardest part because he's on the small road coming up to it, and as soon as he hits it, he'll be in probably one of the smallest gears in his bike.
Here is Amstel Gold. Here comes the big turn.
Yep, straight into the small gear, and just wants to try and pedal up this as much as possible. This is one of these climbs that gets steeper and steeper towards the top, and it doesn't as if it goes downhill. Very, very difficult. You can just see they put barriers on it, but at this 32 kilometres to go, this is a brute 1,700 metres and no respite at the top.
Maximum 22%. I must give credit to the superb inner ring cycling block, who actually did the research and said that it is the steepest road in the whole of the Netherlands.
Last year was the penultimate climb. This is where the race was really on, but we can just still see there's still, there's gaps happening at the back of the peloton, but there's still 50, 60 riders left. Normally at this stage there would probably be about 20, 30 riders. So as predicted, we're going to see some more riders come to the penultimate climb of the Coburg. Well, this is a strong group forming at the front, and now we've got 8 riders, and this alarm bell should be in the ears of a lot of the main sports directors. Astrolose is going to be caught very, very quickly in this climb now. Terrific effort he's done for his team Euskaltel, but coming down very, very quickly. This group in front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders now. Not the original break of 7 riders, but a new group of 7 riders have, about 20 seconds in front of this group. So Norddog on the right, Caruso is also there, Grifko's still there in the white coming through to do his turn in the front. Kreuziger, it looks as if we've got Peter Winning not doing his turn, and Marcato sitting at the back. Astrolosa, the rider of the day, just sitting last man and taking tickets. He's not going to do any work because he has been done all day. Doesn't look, with the flick of the elbow of Kreuziger, that too many of the riders want to commit 100%.
Ten kilometres to go in the Amstel Gold Race, the 48th edition of this wonderful event around the province of Limburg. And we have a breakaway that's been formed in the last 10 k's or so. Now heading on to the Bemelerberg.
Kreuziger for Saxo Bank Tinkoff have decided to go on the attack and try and go alone.
Venning looking behind. What's going on, guys? We need to work hard. Let's go.
This gap is healthy enough. He's going to need about 40 seconds as we hit the Coburg. Still anybody's race. A rider from this bunch can still win this race, but it depends on who's committed and who's got the riders left to bring this man back. We're on to this very fast descent, and this takes us all the way to the bottom of the Coburg, and then he's only got that between him and victory. Is it going to be enough? We're going to have to wait and see.
Now it's the Coburg. This now is the final climb of the day. Inside, 2 and a bit kilometres to go, and this is Roman Kreuziger, the race leader, with what we're hearing is around 20 seconds of a gap. Group behind looks tired, looks spent. There looks like there is no will to chase here.
Kreuziger has got this in the bag, but we have got another 1.6 kilometres. But where is the group? Where is the main group? They're round the corner now. This is going to be touch and go whether Kreuziger managed to hang on towards the finish.
Well, the Coburg, the 4th and final passage here on the 48th Amstel Gold Race. 1.2 kilometres at 5.8%. At the moment, it is the rider from the Czech Republic, Roman Kreuziger, leading them up, but he's being chased by a group that is in itself about to be swallowed by a main peloton who is hungry for victory as well. The motorbike's being ushered out the way quickly because here come the main men, and here comes Philippe Gilbert. Sagan not far away on the wheel. Gilbert launching his attack. Sagan cannot go with him. Gilbert looking good, looking strong. Gerrans can follow him though, and this could be the main move we're seeing. Philippe Gilbert on the same roads that he won his rainbow jersey on last year. He's quickly past a spent Caruso and only really has Simon Gerrans for company. Or is that Valverde coming up behind?
Yeah, Valverde's coming up in the dark blue, and this is the sort of effort that he done last year in the World Championships. And as you said, the last World Champion that won the Amstel Gold in the World Championships was way back in 1981, and that was Bernardino. But it doesn't look as if he's distanced the riders. Gerrans gritting his teeth, so is Philippe Gilbert. Valverde is on Gerrans. I don't think it's enough, but he has to keep on going. They have to get Kreuziger back.
1 kilometre to go. Kreuziger looking okay at the moment. Has to ride for dear life. Excitement to the end of the Amstel Gold Race. Behind him, chasing, very hungry, and in the World Champions jersey is Philippe Gilbert. The question is, does he still have time? Valverde at the moment, number 107, on the wheel of Simon Gerrans. This is this little false flat bit now before they head into the end. It's been crowned by Roman Kreuziger. And here comes a counter-attack now. Valverde, who've been sitting, waiting, has finally pounced. The question is, has Gilbert spent his effort? And can these guys work together enough in the last 300 metres to catch Kreuziger?
For me, they're riding for second. Kreuziger's had enough in the tank now to hang on. He's looking round. He has got about 10 seconds. That's it. 1 kilometre to go now, and Gilbert looks as if he's about to be caught by Valverde. Just eases ever so slightly, joined by Valverde and Gerrans. For me, these guys are riding for second and third. Kreuziger looks as if he's got this in the bag.
Kreuziger, who's won week-long stage races, he's been touted as an ex-big GC thing, but here he has put in a wonderfully timed attack and looks to be darting to the line to a victory. Roman Kreuziger, wearing 171, the leader of Saxo Tinkoff, who we hardly talked about today, has put in an attack at an opportune moment and is riding on here in the sunshine for the first time in spring, lifts his arms, and Roman Kreuziger celebrates winning the 48th Amstel Gold Race in superb style. And as Brian said, we're going to have a sprint for second. Gilbert the first. They've allowed the bunch to catch them, and this is anybody's. How much energy is left here? Gilbert, twice winner, leading it out. Sagan, remember, distanced and outside the way. It's not going to be Gilbert. Valverde looking good. And to me, it's between Valverde and Gerrans in the other two spots on the podium. But this is the main news. It's Roman Kreuziger who's won.
He showed it. Saxo Bank Tinkoff played their card, and they knew they didn't want to sit back. The big surprise for me was, and I think everybody else, that when Philippe Gilbert went on the attack the last time up the cover, we did say it, he was waiting for the final time. They miscalculated. Cannondale and BMC never had the strength. And you can just see Francesco Moser in the car behind, seeing another great champion win Amstel Gold, coming of age, changing teams, and putting his name in the history books here in Amstel.
And there he's being congratulated by the man who came second. That's a nice touch from Alejandro Valverde.
Roman, congratulations with winning Amstel. This must be a big surprise for you.
Yeah, of course, a big surprise, but the team was excellent. And at the end also my legs, so I'm really happy to take the win after my friend Gasparotto from last year.
Gasparotto, he won last year. Now it's another great surprise. Was it the team tactic for today?
But the team tactic was to do the good race with me and Niki Sorensen, and we have the expert of the parcours here, Karsten Kroon. So we save a lot of energy, and maybe this energy was what I need in the final.
Can you describe the last climb on the Kouberg? What was your feeling?
I can remember. I heard only the people who call my name, and I give my best. So, and if I was on the top, I saw that I have to, about 20 seconds. I was thinking only then I have to do it.
Thank you. Congratulations.
So a very tired but extremely happy Roman Kreuziger, who becomes the first man from the Czech Republic to win the Amstel Gold Race. Alejandro Valverde of Movistar in second, Simon Gerrans in third of Australia, and the Orica Green Edge team, both adding excellent podium places to their palmarès. So once the prizes were received, there was a time for a quick tipple of the celebratory stuff owned by the race sponsor. Thirsty workout there today, first day of real summer, and it was well worth watching a superb bike race. So Kreuziger, Valverde and Gerrans making up the podium. Kwiatkowski in fourth place, Gilbert in the end bounced down into fifth after attacking yet again, and now Loikumens, Vening, Gasparotto and Mollema making the top 10.